He's gone. Oh, I've been wanting to do this video for so long now. For so long. Charlie Elphicke, the Member of Parliament for Dover, Deal and surrounding areas, has gone. He's off. He's decided to step down, which honestly it shocked me. It's a few days old now. It's old news, but it shocked me because I did a video when I got the leaflet through the door of him lying about his accolades in Dover for Dovorians and the people who lived in Deal and everywhere else. But now he's decided to step down. I'm assuming because people keep bringing up the fact that he's been charged with 3 accounts of sexual assault, which is not something we should stop bringing up. And every single time the local news comes up, it should be forefront. I mean, it's not, but it should be, because it happened. Alright, I suppose legally speaking, I have to say, he's only been charged, not been found guilty yet, but still, over 1.5 year investigation, and then he was charged. Yeah. But it's not a joyous occasion just yet. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, because in his place, Charlie's wife is running. Now, it's not a guarantee that she'll get it, but typically, people of Dover don't tend to vote, and especially don't tend to vote in their best interests. So you get a few of the more wealthier, I'll pick my words carefully here, the wealthier and the more gullibilistic tend to vote Conservative, and they push through these votes. So they'll probably still look at a Conservative candidate and vote for the Conservative candidate. Now, where I'm not celebrating is because it's still Charlie's wife. It's still Mrs. Elphicke. It might be a little bit different if it was someone who had no ties to Charlie whatsoever. But, I mean, you know from the people in your life, the people you hold closest to you, you know what their kind of views are. Now, if I got home and my partner had told me that they were going to vote to take more food away from school kids from low-income families, I'd have a serious issue with that. If my partner had told me that they had consistently voted to cut funding to the NHS, to fire and rescue, to the police service, I would have a serious issue with this. But that's not kind of what we've seen. So I think we're just going to get another typical copy and paste Conservative if not enough people go out and vote. And again, I've said this before, and it's the problem with, or at least the issue I see with this election on the whole. There are a significant number of people who will be voting on one topic, and that is Brexit. Now, the problem with this is that we've already seen what 9 years of conservatism does. It's brought the NHS to its knees while they lie and say the NHS is fine, we're giving it more money than it's ever had before. It's not true. I mean, hell, even Charlie's little leaflet that came through the door the other day said that he's done wonderful things for our local hospital, which sounds great until you realise it's an outright lie. Dover A&E doesn't even have Dover Hospital doesn't even have an A&E department. If something were to happen to someone in the area, you would either have to go to Ashford or Margate, which is a very, very long way away. Especially when you take into consideration that Dover Hospital had a lot of money put into it. It is damn near amazing, but most of it is shut. Again, because of the cuts that Charlie Elphicke has voted for. And it's all very well and good in putting them on the leaflet and saying, oh, I've done these amazing things. But when you actually fact check this, you find out that the EU, the European Union, have poured a ton of money into that hospital, and it's going to waste because the Conservative government is not using it. Yeah, So, people, I think a significant number of people will vote on one issue, and this is a trap, to quote Akbar, because if you are pro-Brexit, and I don't know why you would be at this point, but if you are still pro-Brexit, you're likely to vote for the Conservatives. We've already had 9 years and everything is just getting so much worse. They are not the party of fiscal responsibility. They are the party of lies and cons. Boris Johnson, just a little while ago, gave away 7 billion of UK taxpayers' money. That was your money. That was my money. That was Ethel down the road's money. And Bojo just gave it away. Didn't get anything back from the EU. Didn't offset any balance, didn't offset any debts. Just gave it away. Because they don't care. As long as it's your money, they don't care. When it affects them personally, they will take your money and they'll enrich themselves with it. They'll pay their own bills. They'll pay their own rent. They'll pay their children's rent. There's been countless stories of this happening already. So people who are still supporting Brexit and vote Conservatives will end the NHS. Brexit Party is more or less the same thing, because what policies does the Brexit Party actually have? There's one, Brexit. Okay, where do you stand on education? What are you going to do for the NHS? What are you going to do for our guys and girls in the military? What are you going to do for green research? What are you going to do for all these different things? No, they're again, everything Farage has any influence with or any say with, it's a one-trick pony. It's just about Brexit. That's not good enough for a general election. But then you've got people who might get conned by the Lib Dems, going in the other way, because Lib Dems are very, very adamant. They are the party that will not leave the European Union. Again, I have a very real problem with this. Not that I have a problem staying with the EU, but I have a problem with the Lib Dems, because at every single opportunity, the Lib Dems have betrayed the public. And I do use this word knowing the context, knowing the way that it has. But at every single turn, the Lib Dems have fallen in line behind the Conservatives. So all those horrible things that the Conservatives have done have been propped up by the Liberal Democrats. Jo Swinson saying that she will not allow Jeremy Corbyn to go into number 10. So you're kind of left with the only party you'd really back is Boris Johnson's Conservative. You really think you can control Alexander Boris Johnson? He's already lied to the DUP. He's already lied to the nation countless times. I mean, this guy is... I mean, I'd love to say he's the English version of Donald Trump, but he himself is American. He is just a mini Trump. The man is a pathological liar. But Jo Swinson is still trying to sell this fairy tale that everything's going to be okay as long as we vote for them. Well, we've seen that before, and we've seen in the years following. I mean, hell, even just a few weeks ago, when there was a vote to protect our NHS, Liberal Democrats abstained. Until very recently, most of the people in the party were in the Conservatives. I mean, they've kind of been forced back into the centrists, into the different party, because the Conservatives are now further right, going for the extreme fringes. But they are still right wing. They still hold the same policies. And these Conservatives that left the Conservative Party for the Lib Dems, they didn't do it because they hate all the policies. They still love the policies. They still voted for the policies. Jo Swinson still voted for every Conservative, horrific, anti-British policy. It's just they disagree on Brexit. Boris Johnson has shown with the sycophants and the shady people he surrounded himself with, he will crash the UK out of the European Union. regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the consequences, because he himself won't actually pay them. Jacob Rees-Mogg won't pay them. Dominic Cummings won't pay them. Dominic Raab won't pay them. It will be you, me, and Ethel down the road. Then, of course, you have Labour. Now, Labour's new position on Brexit, I like. I wish to God they had had this position a year ago. The policies I like. In general, the policies I like. And they are certainly the best party to put in. Jeremy's saying he's going to have 3 months to work on a new deal, and then in 3 months after that he'll put it to the public so we actually get a vote. I agree with that. I do. I mean, I don't like Brexit. I don't like leaving the EU in any way, shape or form because we're just not ready to do so. But giving the public a choice is certainly a lot better than what we have now, because what we have now is still a load of Brexiteers saying that they want Brexit, despite the fact their reason for wanting Brexit has been debunked over and over again. And even then, the Brexit that you have in your head is not the Brexit that you'll get, and you'll have no say whatsoever on Bojo's deal. None. But, sovereignty. Remember that? So this election matters. This election probably is the most important election we'll have in a very, very long time, because this just won't shape if we leave or stay in the European Union. This won't just shape that massive, massive crisis that we have coming. It will also affect whether we actually have an NHS in 5 or 10 years. It will actually affect on whether we have public education. It will affect every aspect. I've said this many, many times now. I do think a lot of people will vote based on one issue, the Brexit issue. But I hope to high hoping that people actually realise how toxic the Conservatives and how untrustworthy the Lib Dems are. I, of course, am absolutely going to vote for Labour. In my perfect government, it would be Greens, but that's not likely to happen with the system that we have. But Labour and Green coalition would be fantastic. Again, because I don't trust Lib Dems in any way, shape or form. They've had power and they've fallen in line behind Conservative masters. And Conservatives have shown time and time again since 2010, they do not care about this country. They only care about the wealthy elites. But ending on a high note, Charlie Elphicke, no matter what happens, is not going to be the Member of Parliament for Deal, Dover and surrounding areas. I will take that victory today.